Hello, tourism students, tourism professors, and professionals. Welcome, today. We are Group 4 presenting the conservation movements in the Philippines. The conservation movement, also known as nature conservation, is a political, environmental, and social movement that seeks to manage and protect natural resources, including animal, fungus, and plant species, as well as their habitat for the future. Conservationists are concerned with leaving the environment in a better state than the condition they found it in. The early conservation movement evolved out of necessity to maintain natural resources such as fisheries, wildlife management, water, soil, as well as conservation and sustainable forestry. The contemporary conservation movement has broadened from the early movement, and its emphasis on use of sustainable yield of natural resources and preservation of wilderness areas to include preservation of biodiversity. And the next presenter will be AJ Horado. He will discuss the early history.
Early history. The conservation movement can be traced back to John Evelyn Sport Silva, presented as a paper to Royal Society in 1662, published as a book 2 years later. It was one of the most highly influential texts on forestry ever published. The field developed during the 18th century, especially in Russia and France, where scientific forestry methods were developed. These methods were first applied rigorously in British India from the early 19th century. The government was interested in the use of forest produce and began managing the forest with measures to reduce the risk of wildfire in order to protect the household of nature. Conservation was revived in mid-19th century with the first practical application of scientific conservation principles to the forests of India. The conservation ethic that began to evolve included three core principles: that human activity damaged the environment, that there was a civic duty to maintain the environment for future generations, and that scientific empirically based method should be applied to ensure this duty was carried out. The Philippines is fascinating. It is rich in natural wonders, but most of its natural resources suffer due to environmental challenges. Thus, environmental organizations in the Philippines strive to protect its wonder and conserve its beauty. There are several notable and inspiring environmental groups in the Philippines that do their best to do better to the country, environment, and it provides its citizens with a healthy environment. You may be wondering who these organizations are. As you read further, you'll know these groups and you'll learn about their objectives and plans to conserve the environment. The next reporter is Sofia Alde. She will discuss marine wildlife, Greenpeace Mother Earth.